Let's talk about Extremely Unique Dynamic, the story of two aspiring actors as they create a film to send off their friendship before one of them moves back to Canada. At least, that's the story of the creators, and the story of how this film came to be. Well, and it's also the plot of the movie, and the plot of the movie they're making within the movie. That's right, babies, this is one of those meta films. And they established that pretty early on with a quote that I couldn't help but write down. It's almost like Indier is better for indie now. We could just film it in the house with our own stuff for free, basically. And that quote pretty much sums up the whole movie. But while a meta-narrative can often hinder a film, it is this film's biggest strength. You see, while in a lot of films the meta back and forth can often clutter and confuse what the actual story of the film is, because this film is about two guys creating a film to honor their friendship and the conflicts that come from that, the tension feels so authentic. You see, with many films, subconsciously we recognize that they were written and the conflict was manufactured. But because this film's story directly mirrors the story of the filmmakers as they made the film, that tension hits so much harder because it feels like it came from the real world. It has a similar effect to watching two people fight online. This is especially true for the B-plot of the film. Dan, played by Ivan Liang, decides to put a piece of himself into the character he's playing in the fact that he is a closeted gay. So this entire B-plot is structured around the fact that he has to play a closeted gay character without revealing that he himself is gay. And for me, that stance is probably the most impactful part of the entire movie. And while the performances from both our lead actors are a tiny bit stiff, it's this genuine and raw emotion that really makes this movie worthwhile. But there's also a lot of comedy to be had in the lightheartedness of the idea of the movie. There are often moments where they'll take a lot of extra stylistic choices for the editing, like, large graphical title cards for people who come into the film. I mean, how can we not talk about the banger that is taco-loving Asian guy? Like, I mean, there's just a lot of cute little friend moments. Like, there's a moment where they're kind of LARPing and they're using a cookie tray as a shield, but they left the cookies on the tray. It's cute little things like that that make it feel like you're genuinely just peering into the lives of some friends. And the little cherry on top for me is the kind of unpolished pop-punk aesthetic of the soundtrack that'll trickle in every once in a while. So while not perfect, perhaps Indier is better for indie movies. So I'm going to give Extremely Unique Dynamic a 7 out of 10. So check it out in select theaters now, or when it comes to streaming on January 29th. And thank you again to Pixel Screen Media for this opportunity.